Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, you beautiful people? 2:53 a.m. I am on my way to the gym right now. This is going to be the last workout for 2018. I started off the year at 270. I was probably balancing between 270 something, about maybe highest 280. All my clothes were extra large. Waist size was a 42, and I wasn't liking what I was seeing in the mirror. My weight now is 223 pounds. Pant size is a 37. Shirt size 1632 fitted. See, you got to know those numbers. You got to know where you come from so you can see the progress that you done made, so that you can pat yourself on the back. And that's something that it took me a long time to learn, is you got to celebrate all your victories. You got to celebrate all your wins. See, I celebrated a couple times this morning. I celebrated that I got up at 140. Thank God. Celebrate. I celebrate that I got down and done my 40 push-ups. And when I turn 41, I'll do 41. You got to celebrate your victories. You got to celebrate your wins. I was talking to my wife and I said, you know, I'm going to share something with you, and it might not make sense, but there's some truth to it. And it says the longer it takes you to understand something or to gain knowledge about anything, the longer you're going to suffer. Because inside of that learning process is a process. You're teaching yourself something new, right? We could take it back to being a child and tying your shoestrings, and how frustrating that was, not being able to go outside and play because your mom or your dad said, if you want to go out and play, you have to put your shoes on. And if you want to go out and play, not only do you have to put your shoes on, but you have to tie them, because they were trying to teach you that part of going outside was being responsible for tying your shoes. And the process that came with learning it was the reward of getting to go outside or learning how to ride a bike. I still got a lump on my head right here where I got it from learning how to ride a bike when I was about 6 or 7, and I ran into this pole at full speed. It was a part of the process. You're gonna absorb some hits. You're gonna take some losses. But here's where you can shorten up that pain. How much time you willing to put into learning? How much time are you willing to put into developing? See, I don't like the pain to be very long, so I'm kind of into putting in a little more than just my regular 8 hours on the job. I'm willing to give it 12 or 14 because I want to pick it up a little bit faster. I don't like the way it feels, so I'm willing to commit myself to learning it a little bit better. See, and people are wondering why they're not making any progress, is because they put in less than what's recommended, and then they want more out of it. So they stay in that pain. And then they stay in it so long that they start convincing themselves that this isn't going to work. And I can't endure anymore. And some people who go into being in, people who go into being in real estate, I can't do it no more. I can't endure. I can't go through this. I need some income. My kids, my bills. How much time you committing? Well, you know, I do something for an hour or two, and you know, why isn't it happening? You commit less than expected, but you want more out of it. You commit less than expected, but yet you want less out, you want more out of it. Sometimes talking to other adults is the equivalent of talking to a child. Except you know the child doesn't know any better. You're looking at the child, you're saying, hey, it's a child. The child doesn't have that much knowledge, that real life experience that gets you to the point where you understand how life is ticking and talking along and how you play your part in it. How you have to commit. And how the situation that you're in is 100% a result of the actions that you're taking or not taking. Now, I'm taking a shower this morning, and I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I turned the water on ice cold, and I jumped in, and I couldn't breathe. You ever had your breath taken away? Your breath was literally, you couldn't breathe. That's what happened when I got in the water and it hit me. I couldn't breathe. But as I'm standing there and I'm taking my shower, I was thinking about how everything in my life up to this point has made me the individual that I am. And I started thinking, I have certain mannerisms. I have certain behaviors. I have certain verbiage. I have certain ways of speaking, right? And for the longest, it would get me in trouble. But then I started thinking the trouble got me to where I'm at. Because had I not been through what I went through, I might not have become who I am. So as I'm standing in this cold water and I'm having these thoughts, because clearly I've started a fight with the devil this morning that he did not like. Because I heard him tell me, don't turn on that cold water. You better not get in there. I got in there and I started laughing because I thought it was so funny that I drug him into something he didn't want to go into. See, because if God is omnipresent, which means he can be anywhere. The devil comes to and from, meaning he has to travel. I'm the only person up at 1 o'clock in the morning, so obviously I'm the one he wants to mess with. I know this. So I know when he's going to come and pay me a visit, I jump in the shower, turn ice cold water on. But as I quieted the devil down, I started hearing God talk to me a little bit clearer. And he says, I made you who I made you to be. And at the same time, I'm listening on the radio to T.D. Jakes talking about how Joshua, which was a successor to Moses, even though he did not have a staff, Moses was a great leader, but yet Joshua was a great fighter. And what he was trying to paint the picture of is saying, I will bless you, but I will bless you in your way. Your way ain't going to look like somebody else's way. It ain't going to look like everybody else's way. But the processes and the steps to get to that greatness and to get to that blessing is all the same. There's no elevator to the top. It's a progression of stairs. And as I'm thinking about these mannerisms and as I'm thinking about all the different things that I've been through as a result of the person that I am, who I genuinely am, I don't get 1 million likes on Facebook. I don't have a ton of friends. I don't have people that I can call back from 10, 15 years and say, man, that's my boy. We grew up together. We tight like that. Some of the things that you look outside of yourself and say, oh, I wish I could be like that. Oh, I wish I could be the center of the attention. Oh, I wish. Joshua and Moses was not the same. They were just great in their own right. Moses was a great teacher, a great leader. Joshua was a great fighter. They both had a blessing on their life. It just didn't look the same. I have a blessing on my life, but it ain't meant to look like how you would see, on a show of Friends where everybody's hugged up and gathered. It ain't like that. But I have a beautiful family where I'm breaking bonds and I'm breaking chains. I have a business that's flourishing. I'm physically transforming my body. You understand what I'm saying? Like what looks like important to somebody else or what's the talk of the town there, somebody else may not be what's for you. So stop using other people as a measuring stick for who you're supposed to be. Just be the best you that you can be. And you ain't never got to worry about the outcome. And you can shine. But you have to want to do more to just the minimum requirement. More than just the quota. Because the longer you just do just enough, the more you're just gonna stay in the state of pain that you're in. I done gave up a whole lot of things just to get to this point. I done gave up a whole lot of things. So now I'm even at a point where it don't matter if you don't like me. I wasn't here for you to like me. Because if I was here for you to like me, then my purpose would be you. And there would be no question about it because you would like me. It would be what it is, but it's not. I feel weird when I'm not with my family. I'm not with my kids. I feel uncomfortable if I'm not building my business. I don't feel right if I don't go to the gym. I don't feel right if I eat the wrong things. See, it's when you start feeling uncomfortable, it's the things that you don't like, which tells you where you're supposed to be. Versus just putting on and putting up airs and trying to hang on to things that don't mean nothing to you. Sparing people's feelings because you scared to be the real you and what people might say or how they might think. Well, what about you? What about how you think? What about what you say? What about what you believe in? You matter too. You matter too. The longer you pity pat inside your calling, the longer you are going to suffer. And the suffering I'm talking about is not process. The suffering I'm talking about is the suffering of time being lost. The suffering of process is a painful enjoyment. The suffering of time loss and denial of your true calling is an undeniable feat of failure that creates sickness, ill health, lack of energy, and a poor self-esteem. When you deny yourself your true calling and you do barely the minimum standard to come out of that, it is a worse suffering than simply committing to the process that's required to achieve your greatness. I've seen both sides of it. I know the difference. One is childbirth with a baby on the other end. The other one is overdosing on medication. One produces a life. The other one produces a close death. Figure out which one you're in.